Fire Eyes Media.
In this day and age, prank calls aren't really too common, unless you're trolling your friends. But remember, like some kid down the street calling and asking, "Is your refrigerator running?"
Oh, yeah. Simpler times. In this story, the prank caller doesn't want to know about your fridge. He wants to know if you've checked the children.
Which is, hands down, the most terrifying question you could ever get while babysitting.
Forget scream. Forget when a stranger calls. This is the original unknown caller equals instant therapy bill legend.
Exactly. Today's Wicked Wednesday episode, we're talking about one of the creepiest urban legends ever, the babysitter and the man upstairs. A teenage babysitter tucks the children into bed. She settles onto the couch, flicks on the TV. The house is too quiet. Every creak seems louder than it should. Then the phone rings.
Have you checked the children?
She frowns, hangs up. Probably a prank. Minutes later, it rings again.
Why haven't you checked the children?
Her hands shake. She slams the phone down and calls the police. The officer tells her to keep him on the line next time so they can trace the call. The phone rings again.
I told you, check the children.
Her blood runs cold. Seconds later, the phone rings once more. This time, it's the police.
Get out of the house now. The calls are coming from inside the house.
She bolts for the front door as officers swarm in. Upstairs, they find the children, murdered. The killer had been inside the house all along.
Oh, nope, absolutely not. I know this story and I fucking help you read it and I still got chills. Absolutely not.
See, this is why the story stuck. Babysitting was supposed to be boring. Snacks, TV, maybe falling asleep on the couch. Instead, it becomes a horror movie situation.
And using the landline too, he's literally upstairs calling her from the actual house phone. Like, BRB, I'm gonna prank call you before I stab anyone.
Hey, it's the original unlimited minutes plan. Creepy, but efficient.
And honestly, the second someone asks me if I've checked the children, I'm gone. Bye, kids.
I mean, same. I want to say that I'd be going full on Ellen Ripley screaming, "Get away from her, you bitch," or like channeling my inner Beatrix Kiddo. But you never know. I kind of want to keep it that way also.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure you've caught on to the fact that this urban legend has roots in some true events. We won't be going into full details of the case, but if it's something you'd like us to expand on in the future, let us know.
On March 18th, 1950, 13-year-old Janett Christman went to babysit for a family friend in Columbia, Missouri. It was an extremely cold and rainy Saturday night, but the couple wanted to go out and enjoy a night with friends, and Janett wouldn't pass up an opportunity to earn some extra cash.
Janett arrived at the home around 7:30 p.m. The little boy's parents told her he was already asleep, so she could have a quiet evening. The little boy's father showed Janett the shotgun he kept near the front door, just in case, since they lived in a rather rural area.
They gave her the usual "don't answer the door for anyone" speech and made sure she knew how to turn on the porch light so she could see if anyone came to the door. At some point that night, the mother called the house to check on her son, but Janett didn't answer.
The local police department did receive a call around 10:30 p.m. that night. The call came from a young woman. She was screaming into the phone, pleading for help. Her last words to the police were, "Come quick," before the phone line went dead. Back in the 1950s, the police didn't have the capability to trace the call or the caller's location, so all they could do was wait and hope she called back.
When the parents arrived home that night around 1 a.m., they noticed the porch light was on, but they hadn't turned it on before they left and instructed Janett to only turn it on in case someone came to the door. Upon entering the house, they walked into an absolutely horrific scene.
Janett's body was found on the living room floor near the piano. She had been strangled with an electrical cord. She'd also been sexually assaulted. Upstairs, the 3-year-old boy she was watching slept through the entire thing, thankfully completely unharmed.
It's absolutely heart-wrenching. She was only 13, the same age as my oldest, babysitting for a little extra money, and she never went home. To make matters worse, her killer was never caught.
Of course not. This is the 1950s. No DNA, no surveillance, no cell phone pings, just a cold case file. The police did have a suspect back then, though, a family friend who had a history of being inappropriate with young girls and acted strangely after her death. But the case was mishandled, evidence was weak, and no charges were ever filed. She was failed twice by the system. First, by not protecting her, then by not catching the guy that did it.
Exactly. And here's why this matters. The babysitter legend that spread across America in the 50s and 60s, it sounds almost identical to Janett's case. A teenage girl alone, a helpless child upstairs, a desperate cry for help too late.
So, the urban legend wasn't just inspired by real life, it was practically a retelling. Babysitting was a rite of passage back then, too. Parents trusted teens with their homes and their children, while teens were left alone in big, unfamiliar houses. Vulnerability on all sides.
So the legend spoke to everybody's nightmares. Parents feared for their kids. Teens feared being powerless, and kids feared, everything after dark. The telling of the story became a warning. Don't answer strange calls. Don't ignore the kids upstairs. And don't assume you're safe just because the doors are locked.
Hollywood couldn't resist. The 1979 film When a Stranger Calls basically is the babysitter legend stretched into a movie. The first 20 minutes are almost word for word. The creepy calls, the police trace, the inside the house reveal, which people say is one of the creepiest openings in movie history.
Then, in the 90s, Scream updated it. Ghostface calling Drew Barrymore's character, that's the babysitter story. Minus the baby, with caller ID. It's almost like we owe half of modern horror to teenage babysitters.
Over time, the story took on different endings. Sometimes the babysitter dies. Sometimes the children are saved. Sometimes everyone is gone by the time police arrive.
And sometimes the killer's motive isn't explained, which is worse, because random evil is scarier than planned evil.
Exactly. It's the unknown that lingers.
The babysitter and the man upstairs endures because it takes the ordinary and turns it terrifying. Babysitting, phones, quiet night at home. Suddenly, all these mundane things are dangerous.
And that line, the calls are coming from inside the house, is one of the most chilling in horror history. You don't even need the rest of the story. Just those words are enough to ruin your night.
It's the perfect horror twist. You're looking for danger outside when it's already upstairs.
Moral of the story? babysitting is cursed. Walk the neighbor's dog instead.
Hey, at least dogs bark if someone's in the house.
Yes, they do. I hate this story so much. I never babysat. Like, there was a reason.
Well, with your mom.
She wouldn't have let me anywhere.
Anyway, yeah.
No, she was so scared of everything. There's no freaking way. Actually, maybe that's why. So, do you remember? I think it was a Super Bowl commercial. It's so stupid that I'm admitting this. Like, wow. But there was a Super Bowl commercial. I think it was a beer commercial with somebody sitting on the couch, and they got a call from inside of the house, and it was a penguin. And it was like, oh my God, I've got to find it and show it to you. But it's a penguin calling from inside of the house. And he makes this like do sound or whatever. And he's like haunting the guy that he's calling, basically.
I have a vague, like, as soon as you start, like, there's something like tingling in the back of my brain, but I can't like pull it up for the life of me.
I could not watch that commercial. Like, it gave me nightmares. And I love penguins.
I was about to say, you're the penguin lady.
So, but it like took something I loved and then made it terrifying. I mean, I was tiny,
young,
you know? And so, but like, obviously it was very traumatic because I'm 40 and still remember this. And like, I still think it would creep me out now.
Yep.
Hello?
How's your bad eyes? Doobie.
That's the third one tonight.
It's okay. The police are tracing the call. Hello?
This is the police. Those calls are coming from inside the house. Repeat, those calls are coming from inside the house.
Drink Bud Ice, but beware the penguins.
Sir?
I did babysit, like, literally down the street from where I currently live right now, a few houses down. There was a house that I used to babysit that had a bunch of kids, but it was within walking distance to my parents' house. You know, it wasn't too bad, and I was about this age as well. So, I don't think that I babysat very often, but like that always kind of like, man, I was lucky. But, you know, hey, if anybody has a creepy babysitter story they'd like to share with us, please do. Bring it on. Love to hear it.
Yeah, I would be interested. I was too chicken. And even now, I've hired like teenagers a few times to watch my kids over the years when they were younger. But like, even now, I'm like, I don't know. That's a lot of responsibility for a kid that young.
It doesn't seem like it's as common anymore, especially for, you know, a 13-year-old. I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, my oldest daughter, I can have her watch the young one, but like that's for short periods of time, and I wouldn't trust her to watch anybody else's kids. So
no, especially not like late in the evening.
No. And it's not for lack of me trusting her.
Right. It's the unknown.
It's kind of what we do these days, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our second urban legend for this year's Wicked Wednesday. If you did, please be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you're listening. We'll be back next week for another urban legend. Until then, stay safe
and make good choices.
Bye. Bye.